Hey, I'm back. This is Chandler for Melda Production, and today I'm going to show you my favorite EQ, MAutoDynamicEQ. This one can do a lot of things, and the reason I'm actually going to show you this today is because someone asked me a question about it and about the remove resonances feature. So I'm going to try to show you how to do some things with that and show you one of the reasons why I think it's good. One of the things I have here is I just have a snare drum sample playing over and over again like this. Nothing special. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to try to remove some of the resonances from it, which I think is one of the things that MAutoDynamicEQ can do really well. The first thing we need to do is actually analyze it. So we're going to click Analyze and just play this over and over again so it captures the frequency spectrum like this. Once you think it has a decent enough sample of what's in the track, you can just turn it off like this. So now here in green, we have our sample. Now, what we can do next is just hit the remove resonances button. You probably already figured this out. So just hit this here. Now we have this, and let's listen to it afterwards. That's cool. I think everyone figured that out and it's like, okay, that's nice. But now you're thinking like, hey, it's a little bit much. I don't want it to cut that much. And you look in here like, okay, how can I adjust the gain? It's like, hey, it's blanked out. Why can't I adjust it? You right click here and still there's no gain. You notice, oh, it's a notch filter. Now from here, I can go and change this to a peak filter here and I can adjust the gain manually, and that's possible. And that's good sometimes. You can even use the dynamics so you can have it working as a dynamic EQ, which is really good, which is one of the reasons I love MAutoDynamicEQ. But I know it's probably annoying. Like, I have all these resonances. I don't want to go and do this all by hand every time. So I'll show you another way to do that. It might be slightly faster in some cases. So instead of doing all those by hand, what we're going to do is, before we even do that stuff, let's go into settings. Now we have all this stuff in here, and there's a number of things we can do in here, like change the bottom frequencies and the top frequencies, change the bands. I don't think that actually works with the remove resonances, but if you're using the automatic equalizer, you might want to increase that or decrease that, depending on what you're doing. But here it says use peak filters for resonance removal. So that way it doesn't default to the notch filters, it defaults to peak filters like this. So do that, analyze the target again. Okay, we have that. Now just click remove resonances. Now you see they're removed, and if I go in here to the bands, I can adjust these like this. And this is a really good feature, and what I like to do is, if I'm actually using this for, let's say, a drum like this, what I'll do is play it and then just move these little by little, turn one of them off just so I can hear what the effect is like this. So as you heard there, it seems like these 3, 4, and 5 are really doing a good job of knocking out those resonances. 2, I might want to adjust. So if I listen to that, and that way, I just like some of the bass there, so might want to add that one back. So you can just adjust that however you like. It found these, for me automatically, etc. One thing you might notice is, hey, 1 doesn't seem like it's doing anything. The analysis might seem a little bit off, and it's not accurate. One thing this does respond to is actually the smoothness. So let's say I'm going to do this again and move this up. If you see here the green, as I move it up, it really smooths it out. If I hit remove resonances, hey, everything moved there. It's because it's not detecting the resonances very well. But let's try the opposite now. If I move it down, now you see like, oh wow, it's getting really detailed here. And when I click remove resonances, it really zeroes in on these. So you can move it wherever you want, wherever you think is best. But let's hear it one more time with this. So some of these I think are doing, lots of good stuff, but I think maybe 3, 4, maybe 6 and 7, I can move these down a bit. Let's hear it again. And so now I can do it and I think, okay, I think this sounds better to me. And you can just do a back and forth with a bypass like this. And of course I can keep adjusting these in here. But one thing you also might notice is like, I kind of like things from both of them. I wanted to remove the resonances, but not quite so much. And you think I could, manually move all the gains down, but there's actually an easier way if you don't want to do that. You can blend it by just using the wet dry like this. For me, I think that sounds pretty good. All the way up, it doesn't quite have enough like punch to it. But all the way here, resonances are too much. But yeah, a little bit over 50% like here. It still has some of the punch and a little bit of the beef, but it doesn't have so many of the ringing resonances that I don't like. And so I think that's something you can use this for. And although I kind of talked through this so it took longer, actually this can be a very quick process, so it can save you some time this way. Hopefully you can do this in a few minutes as opposed to looking at an analyzer and then kind of sweeping through with the different bands. I think this does it fairly easily and cleanly. And of course, I'm using this on a snare drum, which I think it works best on drums, but of course you can try it on other things like basses, guitars, anything really. So if you like this, give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below and check out all the other plugins at meldaproduction.com. Until next time, see you.